Yeah, so as I began to say, that looking at everybody's work quickly, uh, I think there are a few good things that have happened. One of them is that you have all learned or managed to learn something about how to bring complex requirements together. I hope that you feel a certain degree of achievement with that. It's quite difficult, and I think all of you have attempted and read somewhere there. So that's good. Second thing, I think everybody has a sense of a relationship between outdoor space, sheltered but open-sided space, and indoor space or occupied space. I think everybody has got some idea of that. And some interesting developments are emerging out of that. Third thing, I think all of you have got a grasp of the size of the program, the scale of spaces that are required, and you are grappling with how to save more land, free, etc. So those are three very good things that in the first part of the semester we have achieved. Originally we had planned to take a step further of a very different kind here, but I think a little more development and collaboration of what you have already done will help before we take that step. So what is really not that easy to incorporate? When you look at all these buildings that you have designed, do you feel that they are from Nallur? Not that they have to look like the existing buildings. So I think we need to go a little bit into what is really special about the Nallur house, the Nallur environment, character of life. What is special? We talked a little bit of this earlier, no? In that lecture a few days ago. Let's imagine that you are a young person growing up in one of the houses, and it's morning, you've just woken up, and now things are going to begin. And ultimately you are going to go to college somewhere in Kumbakonam. Okay? So let us try to see what will you be doing during those 3 hours or so. Maybe between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. 6 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. What will you be doing? What kind of family do you have? You have to put yourself in those shoes.
Would get up and go out for a job.
Go out for a job. Yes. Will not your neighbors laugh at you? You are living in one of those houses. You're still in that traditional family. Huh? If you're a girl, you wear that, this, what they wear in the South. Young unmarried girls, they will wear something with a, not a, I don't know what it's
Half
called.
sari.
Yeah, it's a half sari. No? And If you are a boy, then you will probably also, before you leave the house, you will have to done either this or this. So you are in a traditional family. What will your morning be like? Without bathing, can you do Rangoli?
No.
Then what will you do first? You just got out of bed. Eh? Where will you go? What?
Backyard.
Backyard. Can you? So you will go to the backyard. Where? What is there in the backyard? Yes. So what is there? What kind of place is it? Is it open to sky? Is it paved? Is it partly paved? Is there a well there? Is there a pump there? Is there a tap there? What is there? Huh? It's fully paved? No. Yeah. It's partly paved. With what? With stone. Big stones, small stones. But there will be one big stone, no? Where you can wash clothes. So what is that place like? Describe it. Describe it to me. When you go there, will a squirrel run away and a bird do something as you wake up in the morning? What kind of place is this? That place where you go and wash, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you wash yourself initially before having that cup of coffee or something that you have first thing in the morning. Yeah? What is that place like?
Maybe it has a small bathroom which is fully closed, and outside the bathroom in one corner there is a small tap, and there is paving and gutter below.
Who was there in Nallur? Now describe.
In the backyard there will be a bathroom and a partly paved area.
Mm.
And in one of the houses what we saw was a tank kind of thing.
And they had
what we
gardens
call
behind.
that. So washing area.
Behind the house there is a
Mm. Mm.
Garden.
And there was a wall,
On the
two
side the
sides.
compound wall.
Compound wall, how high?
Around 2 meters.
And then at the back,
They had a small door which opened into another
Garden area.
Their own garden or
So this was a defined space where you
And
went
there was a pool.
with your towel and and it was a full space, like the biggest bathroom you have ever seen, with trees growing in it. Yeah? Maybe there was a curry patta tree, maybe there was some dhania or some other things growing there. No? All the things that you use in cooking, some things might be growing there. So it was like a garden bathroom. Today only the very rich can afford it. But it was a wonderful place. And then after that, what would you do? Do you think you would go out into the garden behind early in the morning? You might not. Unless you wanted to, pick a few banana. I don't know. Okay, so you came back into the house. Where in the house? Oh, you first you'll complete your bath and everything before coming back. Maybe. Maybe you will come back after brushing your teeth. Okay, then you will have what? Huh? You'll have coffee. Will you make the coffee or somebody will make it for you? No, who can go into the kitchen?
The lady is already taken bath.
Yes, you must have had a bath. And that is the most important space in the house. The purest space in the house is the kitchen. So you can't go in. So you'll have to wait for your mother who wakes up for thing at 4 o'clock in the morning, finishes her bath and everything, finishes her prayers, and then comes into the kitchen and gets coffee and breakfast and everything ready by the time 7 o'clock is there. No? So you get coffee. Where will you sit with your coffee? Huh? Courtyard. In the middle of the courtyard? One corner. Next to the pillar. But there are two sets of pillars, no? One on the edge of the courtyard and then one inside of that bigger space. Okay, you might sit near the courtyard. I know this sounds very boring, this whole procedure. But unless you enter that life, you cannot understand the architecture. Till then, what is the stimulus to creative thought? Is reality, not what is habit. And everything that has been drawn up to now is drawn by habit, thinking of habitual things. So we are trying to break through. We are trying to make a breakthrough here. It's a very important stage. Very important stage. So okay, you had coffee, etc. Then you had a bath, and then you came back, put on your clothes, then you had breakfast, and then you went back, washed your hands, etc., etc. And then you left for going to the college. What will you do before going, perhaps? You are from a very traditional fashion. You might go and at least, So where is that? Where is that place in the house? Where the God is? That long hosri, what we call in Gujarati. It is there. One place, one dish is there. Yeah? So you will go there and pay your respects and ask for good things in the day, and then you will leave. Where will you go out from?
Or maybe there's a back door where your vehicle is.
But back door. Is there a back door? Back door open to garden. That is for disappearing, getting away from the family, you know. When you want to do mischievous things, you have to go there. Whatever is not allowed. Suppose you are not allowed to play with or read comics as a child. I don't know, many of you may have had such restrictions from parents. That kind of thing you will do there. You have your own little place there. And you have some things there. So maybe that garden is a different kind of place. What kind of place do you think the garden is? Before we go away from home, let's ask about that garden. What is it like? Any of you like animals? Suppose there was a cow or there was a... Would it be in the back garden? So would you want to go and check it out before leaving? Do you think you would have planted some? lots of free time in a place like this. You wake up early, before going to school or college, there's some time. Have you seen any movie of this kind of place? Have you seen Pather Panchali? Anybody has seen Pather Panchali? Who made that movie? Do you know? It was Satyajit Ray, and it was a movie about two children growing up in a small Bengal village. And he grows up and he goes to Banaras to study, then goes to Calcutta. No, first he goes to Calcutta. All that. And it's in 3 parts. It's a trilogy, the Papu trilogy. Try and see that movie. Because you'll get some idea of what happens to people when they change their way of living. So, the garden. What is that? Is that garden worth going for? Did you go into the garden? You were there alone or some other people were there? So what was there in the garden? You were there.
The garden, the tree,
No, not very
when
big.
went to the black side one. Whether you grow a cat or not, the cat will be there.
Cat will be there.
Yeah, you steal the hair. I mean the hair.
There will always be a cat.
There will
Why?
always be.
Why?
Take away the waste food and the
And,
compost
and,
from the compost.
and mice and rats and also some other creatures. It's quite rich pickings for them. So cats are around. Dogs.
Unless you have a pet.
Crows. Many crows. In a season. So you said there were trees there. Huh? You know, a sort of a very vague gesture of, there are trees there. Why do you say about trees like that?
Maybe they were not like a proper. It was
What is
not
a proper tree?
Like it was not a very formal kind of a garden where a
Ah.
person would like to visit it and go on.
So you don't like to visit informal gardens?
No, but like unless
they didn't have the lawn.
They didn't have lawns, so they don't have
But they had trees. They were not grown in a particular pattern or anything, but they were grown randomly.
Maybe
Ah.
it happened over years on its own.
Yes,
on its own.
They were not
And
planted.
Yeah.
Really? Do you really think so?
No, they started planting and
What was planted there? What were the trees there?
they had
Banana tree. So it just somebody threw a banana tree. Do banana trees grow like that? Huh?
No.
Then how do they grow?
Or
I think this is a very important thing.
from the
How much does a laptop cost?
Depends.
40, 50, something like that. How complex is it? And how much does a tree cost? And how complex is it? Have you thought about it? A garden is probably much more than what an architect can ever achieve. A garden which has been growing for some years has achieved a certain stability, a certain rhythm. Every season certain leaves will fall, something will happen, flowers will come, fruits will come, birds will come, it will go again, then so on and so on. And it has a cycle of its life which doesn't need anybody to come and do things there. It's a self-regulating system. Whereas, if you make a house, suppose you didn't clean it for 3 days, what will happen? Huh?
Yeah.
Dust, cobwebs, right? What do we call that kind of house in Gujarati? Where nobody has done anything for, has not used it for some days. Not khandeer. Khandeer is already a ruin. અવાવરું. આ ઘર અવાવરું પડ્યું છે. અવાવરું. Huh? Unused. Unused means not lived. Not lived. A house is a living thing. And every day you have to take care of. So, a tree and another tree and some plants and insects and birds and water, rain, sunlight is all working to help each other or to take things from each other, and they are a complete self-sufficient system. But a house is not a self-sufficient system until there are human beings, and there are some animals, and there are some insects. And these things, all the time, the interaction of them, the physical walls and floor and roof and all that, the people who are cleaning and using and dirtying and the insects, you know how ants come and clean the kitchen every day? Wonderful. Leave a counter dirty. Now the weather is for ants. They will come and completely clean up. Complete. Superb. Yeah? So, all these creatures, when they live, then it becomes a house. So, a tree is not to be looked at as there are some trees. No, it is as important as the house. Because there are these two systems, house and garden, are depending on each other. You take away one, the house loses its quality. Suppose we imagine that Nallur house, we cut that land, suppose we could cut out like a piece of cheese, bring it to Ahmedabad and put it there. Do you think it will have the same quality? Or suppose we took out that garden and we built some apartments there. Do you think it will still have that quality? It won't. It will have lost something. So that sense of that correlation between the building and that space, I think you have to somehow enter into that feeling. It will not be the same. What you design will not be the same. But you start with a feeling for that kind of a place. That wonderful place where you have the largest bathroom in Asia. And then the garden. You never have a garden like that. Anyway. So you left the house. As you are leaving the house, is anybody from your family around? Who are you? Yes. And
Maybe before leaving you go and meet your father.
yes, generally you try to avoid it before going.
Unless you need some money.
Unless you need money. So let's not talk about the father. There are more sympathetic figures in the family. Nobody is talking about that. Grandparents. Probably your grandfather or grandmother has already finished the day's routine and is sitting there in the night, watching what is happening on the street and greeting anybody who passes by, reading his newspaper or her newspaper, or doing something, maybe doing some mala and sitting there or something like that. And as you go, you quickly do some mischief and hurt before you go. No? That is how it is. Then, when you are out on the street, then what happens?
Neighbor clashes.
Neighbor, yes. You pass by a neighbor's house,
or maybe your mom comes out and reminds you that you forgot to.
Yeah, maybe your mother comes and says, you forgot this, be more careful. Huh? Okay, so some neighbors you get along with very well, and some you don't, and so you negotiate that street and go to the bus stop. When you were in that garden, washing your face and hands and so on, doing brushing your teeth, and now on the street, will you be looking like two different people? Huh? Completely different. And at the bus stop, you will have transformed completely. Because it will be all young people waiting for the bus. Yeah? And it will be a completely different scene. No elders to sort of restrain your antics. And so then there will be a new kind of life somewhere else, away from Nalu. And then you come back to Nalu. On a Sunday, what will you do in Nalu? Huh? Yeah, go to the temple. Half an hour. Huh? Lake.
Play cricket in the
Play cricket. Okay. Go to the water tank. Okay. Suppose you're feeling very sad. Very sad. Where will you go? Huh? That garden is one possibility. But it's so dark and so many trees and doesn't feel nice. Where will you go? Huh? Lake. There are people there. All the neighbors and others, all that kaka that we know from there if he is there. Terrace. Okay. Climb on a tree. But you are too grown up for that. Huh?
Don't get out of the way.
You have a friend who can listen to you and you can trust him or her. Yeah? And you want to tell about all your heartbreak and what. Now what will you do? Go on a cycle. Where? To the friend's place. Yeah, sit on the otla outside and everybody will think, these two are whispering, gossiping something. Okay.
Into the nearby there were fields.
Ah. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Those fields, rice fields, how they are. Have you seen? There is a little embankment of earth. In between is the rice is planted, water is let in, and you can walk on this line, which is a straight line like that or something. You can walk along that. And what is the good thing about a big space? How do you feel? What do you feel in a place like that? Yes. Yes. Does your sense of time change? Does it change? How? Huh? Yeah. You feel there's lots of time. Why do you feel? Yes. 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 Your hands are saying the right thing. What do you mean?
Everything around is
Everything around is
still.
still. Well, there are very few details, jumpy things. Yeah? It is similar and goes on and on and on and on. There's a big sky. I don't know if you've noticed, when you can see a lot of sky, calm down. You don't rush around. See how people in cities rush around. And they will speak also fast. Go to Bombay and you will understand how fast people speak. Have you noticed that? In many smaller towns, smaller villages, people speak slowly. And in cities, people speak fast. And they'll speak short sentences. You have to see an American movie too. You know, half the time they just say, no? So that environment outside, big, safe, rich, green. Somewhere lotus is growing in it. Somewhere some birds flying. In the monsoon, what do you think it would be? Have you seen monsoon clouds coming? Again, you have to see Pathar Panchal. It's a very big event in our country. Monsoon. You know, from my balcony, before all these new apartments came up, I could see right up to the horizon. And the procession of those clouds, big, dark clouds, heavy, and coming, and it's like, you know, a huge army coming, but it's a friendly army. And suddenly there is a thunderbolt, and big sound. You are a giant boat, you know. A little bit of that, everything becomes dark. And then the rain suddenly falls. Now if you see that in those fields like that, what would it be? Just imagine, it would be a completely different thing. If you see a sunrise or a sunset in that environment, it will be different. If you see the moon reflected in the water of the rice field, it will be a different thing. Completely different. And that kind of sense of living was something which is still there. Even if the towns grow bigger and more dense, could there be that quality? Could there be some of that quality? At night, did you see any fireflies? Agya. Agya jo hai? Anybody has seen fireflies? Huh? In these rice fields, there are lots of them, and in the coconut groves also. So, sometimes in the dark night, there's no moon, dark, and then this one goes, and suddenly 10 or 15 you can see at some place, all lights going this way, that way. It's gone. It's mind-boggling. Yeah. So, the sensing of that place, how do we bring that sensing into what we make? Let's take the reverse journey now. I am a visitor and I am going to visit somebody. I have been told that he is a great author of Tamil poetry who lives in Nallur, and I am a sort of scholar doing my PhD, and I have to go and meet this person. So I come from the bus. I come from, say, Chennai. I actually come from the Department of Asian Studies at University of Chicago. and I have flown from Chicago to Chennai, and I have stayed in a good hotel in Chennai. Then I take a car and I reach Nallur, and I am going to meet this very important person. What will be the change in the house? Suppose I approach the house. How will I know which house it is? I got off and my car came, stopped somewhere. I got out. Then I have to ask. Whom will I ask?
Some old man or something.
Yes. Some children will be playing in the street, I'll ask them. All those children will know everybody. No? So they will straight away tell me, and what will they do? As I go there, they will all follow me. Huh? Okay. Then what do I do when I reach the house? Huh? Knock. It's very difficult. Huh? So you will, huh? The dog barks at you. So then what happens? Somebody comes. Who comes? Who comes? The lady comes. Always. Huh? And she stands where? Just inside that threshold. Where? In the plan you can see it is there. From the Tinai you are going into the house, there is that little space, entry space, and she stands inside there, opens the door, provided that there's nobody is sitting on the otla. Yeah? So she opens the door and says yes, and you say, I would like to see Mr. So and so. Then what will happen? She'll ask you to wait, and then what will happen? How, will she just make you stand or ask you to sit where? On the Tinai. Okay, and then given some water, and then huh? So he will come outside. That is, if you are not a very easy person to categorize, you know, that this fellow is okay, is a Brahmin, not, all that, if it is not known, then I will be the place, and the man will come out. Then if he thinks that you are to be invited, still where will you sit? So like that, parts of the house are for people who you want close to you. Only certain people can go into the kitchen, and only when they have taken their bath. Not everybody can go into the kitchen. Only certain people will use that front room. The newly married couple will be given that room. And there will be some other things in that room. Special heirlooms, you know. If you have finished your MArch, they will hang that certificate in that room. Mr. Srinivas MArch. So it's a different kind of place. And each part of the house has a feeling, a meaning that everyone knows, and the architecture says somehow this is different. Each part of the architecture, it is not as if architect, there's a board there, everybody welcome, only Brahmins, not like that, bathed people only, freshly bathed humans, dogs, crows. Architecture doesn't work like that. Yeah, on a drawing we can write these things, but architecture actually, by some subtle suggestions, a step, change of light, big, small, directly approached, seen from the side. Like all these things, the architecture tells you, yes, here you relax, it's okay. Here you take care, don't just barge in. Yeah? This is what needs to come into the texture of the plans. And for 1 week, maybe we are going to work on this. How to polish these plans so that they become connected to that way of life. I'll take only one example of an architectural element which I have noticed again and again in many drawings. And that's a very important element. Staircase. What does a staircase say? Suppose you have a staircase which is like this, and you have another staircase which is like this. You have a third step, but at least let's take two. What's the difference? Between this and this.
That's called second and third is really strong actually. Like this is where you need to go. It's really,
In the second one, you would maybe access to go to a particular room or to go to some.
How do you think this staircase is located? Where is it located versus this? Here, suppose I draw rooms, will you feel comfortable with that? Is okay? Here, if I draw rooms like this, will you feel comfortable? Maybe not. Maybe this will be a space in which this staircase is coming up. Will it? A staircase activates or withdraws from a space. When it withdraws, it says everybody who uses this staircase is free to go wherever they want to go without being accosted by anybody else. Here, when you are coming, people who are there or here or somewhere here, they'll say, "Huh? કોને મળવા જવું છે?" You find people like that who are very nosy. And they will all sit in different places here. But it will also make everybody who uses that staircase a sort of theatrical figure. Somebody going up that staircase. That is why in movies, whenever there is a dramatic action, it will happen on staircases. Public action, which everybody has to notice. Whether it's in a Western movie, you know, where that it's in the saloon and everybody is, and a fight starts and this man goes up the staircase and or whether it's any dramatic action of public nature. But even simple, everyday process of life being noticed is this kind of staircase, this kind of staircase is, okay, I do my thing, you do your thing, let's not. I think such ways in which elements like that, how a door opens into something or out to something, how a room looks or doesn't look at something. These are all the ways in which architecture starts telling. So now slowly we'll pick up those things. Right now, up to now, you have been concentrating on the organization of this complex thing. Now we are going to look at the sense that it conveys and what you would like it to convey. Okay. So now we are going to go and do an exercise which is of a very different kind. Shall I explain it here? And then we go into. You will have half an hour. Within half an hour, you have to make one drawing. It doesn't have to be of artistically great quality. It can be. It's nice if it is. But that is not the main intention. It is about capturing the sense of life. So, it is called, what you will draw today is called the rice fields of Nallur. I did a verbal description of what that rice field might be, might represent, might make me feel. You will have your own. It will be visually. You get what we have to do? You want to ask him?
Capture the nature.
The rice fields of life, the sense of life, the quality of the place, character of the place, your feeling for it, even though you may not have walked around too long in those rice fields. Still, some feeling you probably have. No? For such places. And you have seen them. From the bus you saw them all the time. What kind of feeling does it give? That you have to draw. Within half an hour. We start at 1:45. We end at 1:15. No more time. These are going to be all your sensing of the project's dimensions through the action of drawing. So the action of drawing is not in two parts. At first I think about the picture and then I do the picture. You know, that machine then moves the hand. As you draw, your hand should start, and your mind and your heart and everything should start changing, making you draw in a certain way. You have to feel that you are there. What you actually draw is not important. Important in some way. But how you start feeling as you draw? What do you feel? Does your hand move fast? Does your hand start sliding? Does your hand jerk? What does it do? What are the gestures? How do I show dark tree spaces? How do I show bright grassy spaces? that will be all in your body. Your body is telling you, don't think like that. Start drawing immediately. Start drawing. Take a piece of paper and start drawing immediately. Don't think. And as you draw, your body will tell you how to do it. And your hand will move automatically. Please, this is the sense that we must have. Go down, quietly sit down, take a paper and immediately start drawing. Immediately. Yeah? That's very important. Don't make lot of noise. Go there, sit quietly, start drawing. Chalo.